Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Tech Frenzy. Today, we're talking SoFi. If we get a little bit of time, maybe we talk some Robinhood and PayPal. But I mean, SoFi for the most part. Why? We're celebrating a birthday. SoFi has just turned 17. Cool. We're almost an adult here. And hopefully, we'll start getting into our 20s and beyond. And hopefully in a quick period of time. I mean, that would be the most blessed situation, but we'll have to see. Now, in today's topic of discussion, we're going to talk about SoFi's potential upside for the rest of the year, what they have going for them that could propel them into new highs, macro events that could also suggest like further improvements in the share price, and then general other knowledge, Q&A, stuff like that people need to know about SoFi breaking into new highs as well. And whenever I say new highs, I'm not talking about the, $25 or $28 or whatever it hit whenever it first IPO'd. I'm talking about its local high, which was the 1842, which I think we're going to shatter this year and probably quite soon. Now, things generally in markets are getting quite bullish. Multiples are getting propelled higher. And obviously, if SoFi goes up 30% in the last month, that is multiple expansion, okay? A 30% increase. Whenever you have what is probably the more bullish side of news, which was Cathie Wood, which actually before she held like 14 million shares or something like this. We'll have to double check that. I have the thing here. But if I'm not mistaken, 1.15 million shares of SoFi. That was back in April 4th of 2024. Probably whenever she thought that, the chances of more rate hikes would be quite high. And in fact, we did actually see 4 at the end of the year, but then started seeing, pausing rates for quite a long time and actually much further than people would have thought. So going into July, there's most likely not going to see a cut this month. Or next month, but probably the month after that. September is looking to be a very, very high chance of having a rate cut. August, there's not a meeting. So, yeah. Now, let's talk about what Cathie just did. Before, she held about 15 million shares, and that was whatever. We can actually see this right here. Let me pull this up for you. Then she started selling off like crazy, and everyone screamed doom. But essentially, she brought her total shares outstanding to about 1.86 million out of her total SoFi holdings. Now, as I just tweeted out a couple minutes ago, SoFi or Cathie Wood has changed her opinion on SoFi. As you can see, she's purchased 2 million shares, more than she has across the entire portfolio in just ARK-K, and then an additional 344,000 shares in the ARK FinTech Fund. Okay. Now, if you actually look, she bought about 0.5% of SoFi of her total, the total size of the ETF. Okay. And then in the ARK FinTech Fund, she also bought a very similar 0.5%. She sold out of Coinbase to purchase SoFi, and then very similarly sold out of Coinbase to buy SoFi. Pretty interesting move. All right. Then you can see like Roblox maybe was replaced with Tesla or something like this. I think that's a fair move as well. But overall, whenever any buyer is coming in to purchase this company for a short period of time, long period of time, I'm happy with it. Okay. Them more than doubling their position, I don't care the type of investor. Even if Jim Cramer wants to say that he is extremely bullish on SoFi, I'm not one to think that that is bad news for SoFi or something like this. I mean, to be that good at calling the bottoms on companies would be just as hard to call the top every single time. I don't believe in somebody's, I'm not superstitious. Okay. I don't believe in luck in markets. Things happen. Yeah. So the fact that Cramer got the Palantir top. Yeah. I mean, he's been particularly lucky a lot in his life, but he's also called things, and then there's been a quick drop during those periods that he's called it, and then those stocks continue to hit new highs later on in time. So I don't necessarily believe in it, really. The inverse Cramer ETF, hasn't done as well as people would actually think. Hello, Sir Tanner. My name is John, and I rock. How you doing, brother? I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. Yeah. I know the Michael Scott joke. Unlike Amit, I'm not I'm caught up on some TV culture, pop culture, whatever. All right. There's a weird thing where in movies and TV and everything like this, he does not keep up at all. But whenever it comes to Justin Bieber or Selena Gomez or something, he has weird knowledge that I do not follow at all. But yeah, I guess we have our preferences. Okay. I fed Palantir dollars every day. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't worry about the Palantir move today either. I don't think that's a problem. Okay. What was I talking about before? Cathie Wood purchasing, great. Let's talk about why she could be potentially buying. I think the most obvious assumption is that she's getting bullish on the potential for rate cuts, especially whenever it comes to a September cut. Okay. The chance of a 25 basis point September cut is 75.6%, with a 50 point basis cut getting all the way to another 17%, leading the total easing of rates to 92.5%. Now, these are just rates, or these are just percent chance. It's not a guarantee, it's an assumption. So that 7.5% could very well be still the case, and we could pause again, and then the SoFi case is where it is today. Things are growing, but they're not exponential for their earnings, which is what would happen if we did see rate cuts. Mexico looks a lot like your studio. Yeah, I told them to make it exactly the same, but I'm slowly going to get more tan over time. But I'm already tanner. Let's see here. Matt Flo, how you doing, brother? Is he talking about SoFi? I am talking about SoFi, Kelly. SoFi, let's jump into a couple things. So first up, let's go to analyst predictions, because this continues to change, and there's a lot of noise and a lot of problems with a lot of the analysts that I always end up seeing. So one, you have people like this Bank of America and the KBW guys that are putting $13 price targets and $9 price targets on SoFi. Okay. Close all that. Okay. And they continue to put sales on this company and say that the prices are extremely low, sort of noting the exact same bear cases that we've heard before, saying that, fair value accounting is not safe, and that SoFi is, playing a risky game, and personal loans are not something that they should be building a business around. All these sort of similar arguments over and over and over. Okay. What they fail to see is the financial services productivity loop. There we go. FSPL. And just the growing amount of members that are cross-selling into all these other products, which is probably why 99% of the people in this chat that actually hold SoFi continue to hold it today, is because we haven't seen that break. There's been no changes to that thesis. Okay. This is where, Kyle Joseph comes in. That's exactly his bull case for giving a $20 price target. That's how Dan Dolev sees it as well, also giving a $20 price target. Devin Ryan has a $17 price target, but if you actually read the full note, he says he's giving $17 because of a very risky macro environment, which is what was happening in April with Liberation Day and all of those things. That was still very top of mind. In the article, he actually said fair value is probably closer to $25 per share. Okay. Now, if we continue on, SoFi could also potentially beat expectations for Wall Street analysts. How often have they done that? Let's take a look. So if we go to Earnings Hub really quickly, and we can cut out some of the... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to go to Earnings Hub. I'm going to go to my own spreadsheet, just because we can cut out some of the GAAP one-time expenses, the one-time tax benefits. Those things, even though sometimes they hurt us and sometimes they benefit us greatly, we don't want to see those often because it's not a great way to trend out their growth or see the trend of growth. So in my SoFi spreadsheet here, 1 second as it loads, you can see that SoFi over time has continuously beat. Okay. Even Q1 was a smashing beat. Revenue beat estimates by 5%. Revenue beat EBITDA by 17%. EBITDA beat guidance by 17%. And net income beat guidance by 100%. Okay. If you trail that out, it's happened every single time since they've been a public company. These are the things that retail seemingly sees constantly. And they see this with Robinhood and they see this with Palantir, that there are things that we can sort of trend out and say, hey, well, what's the chances that they are going to similarly guide conservatively, continue to outperform and get better on their underwriting? And for some reason, Wall Street continues to not see the type of management that is being run by these companies and that they're going to keep a similar standard going forward, right? And if SoFi can continue to do that, they'll continue to force Wall Street to correct their estimates, to understand what the new goals that are being set on for SoFi, like loan platform business, potentially payment rails for Galileo, all of these different things that are going to change the thesis, that are going to 10x the growth, right? And now another one, because I've been going back and forth on X about how large SoFi Invest is going to be. Historically, it's been pretty small. The sort of average revenue per user has been around $11, and I'm kind of boosting that up. It's more like $10.50. But anyway, it's been around $11 for the last like 3 years per customer. If you compare that to Robinhood, their average brokerage customer is bringing in anywhere around $140 to $160 per year. Okay. Very, very different story. So whenever you're sort of comparing these two businesses, what is stopping SoFi from getting to those levels? Is it crypto? I'm sure that makes up for a decent part, about 40% of their overall revenue. Some of it is options and option selling for sure that SoFi doesn't have. We have options. We just don't have the ability to actually do level 1 options, which would be to actually do the cash secured puts, the covered calls, everything like that, which leads to even more advanced strategies that SoFi also doesn't offer. So those things lead to a massive percentage of their earnings as well. And then on top of that, you also just have high frequency users. No one is really day trading too much on SoFi Invest. And if they're doing it, it's with small dollar amounts. How do I know this? Look at the average revenue per user. It's tiny. Okay. As we bring those on, that will increase the average user. Okay. Is there a possibility for SoFi to get to that $150+ user? 100%. Do we get it through robo advisory and our own ETFs and stuff like this? No. We get it through bringing options, through bringing crypto, through attracting a user base that will want to bring retirement accounts in hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars, right? Not just people who are trying to get beginner accounts, which is really what SoFi has been good for. Hey, this is a great place to start a brokerage account. We actually don't want that, because then as they learn, they graduate away from SoFi and realize that once they've actually started winning and taking this very seriously and allocating more of their income towards investing, that they usually take it to Robinhood. If they can solve that problem and sort of plug those leaks, then SoFi can actually grow their invest user base. That will add on to their earnings dramatically. Now, in terms of profitability, because everyone likes to talk about margins and SoFi's margins being lower than other companies, for the most part, they are variable, or like, how do I say this? Right now, SoFi Invest and their credit cards are not profitable. But on the new income that they're bringing, or the new revenue that they're bringing in for SoFi Invest, they are profitable. Credit card still has a tiny bit to go. Okay. So what's really holding them down is a lot of one-time expenses and software contracts and all of those things that they've had to pay to actually build these products up, that one, they're transitioning over to Technisys, and two, a lot of that is actually, getting paid off. So they will be profitable, service lines, and then financial services will grow to even a larger column of their not only revenue as they grow, but also earnings as they get more seasoned, let's say. Now, on top of that, what could also boost SoFi's share price, and so 17 doesn't seem like a high for SoFi, but actually a very low point, is if SoFi hits their goals. That's essentially what it is. No company is believing that SoFi is going to hit their goals. Every single Wall Street analyst, I think the highest in terms of EPS for 2025 is 55 cents, if I remember correctly. We can go to Seeking Alpha really quickly and double check that. But let's just double check really quickly. Okay. We go to earnings estimates here. Yeah, for December of 2026, we have 51 cents of EPS. Even 2025, sorry if you guys can't see that. Even for 2025, we're extremely low here at 28 cents. I am still a believer that we are probably going to be in the range of about 32 to 34 cents of EPS. In 2026, I'm still a believer that we're going to get somewhere around 60 cents to 80 cents. Okay. So if that is the case, the 17 to 18 analysts, which is in the entire team that is looking over SoFi's company and judging them based on what they should be priced at, will be significantly wrong. Okay. If that's the case. Now, remember, going back to the guidance sheet, they've never missed. So the fact that SoFi is saying, hey, we're going to get 28 cents, and then Wall Street is saying, hey, they're going to get 28 cents, bullcrap. How we beat EPS by 100% last quarter. Where in the numbers do you think that they are going to miss again? Like, I don't understand. The estimates are way too low for them to meet it, let alone the fact that every single quarter we're going to see more and more revenue. Where is the margin compression? Is it going to be whenever we get rate cuts? Heck no. Our margin is going to expand. Payush says Cathie Wood buys 2 million SoFi shares. It's actually 2.3 million, but we already covered that. I know there's a lot more people in the chat now than whenever we discussed it, but yeah, she bought $40 million worth of SoFi today. She's got a heck of a thing for buying whenever the stock goes up and selling whenever it goes down. It's not usually what you want to do, but hey, I'll take it. I like a $40 million buy any day. So bring it back tomorrow and the day after that. If she gets her stock, or like, here, let's go back. We'll just talk about Cathie one more time really quick. We'll look at her combined holdings here. So this is not inclusive of the day here, but she had about 1.86 million shares. She just bought 2.3 million more shares. Okay. So she more than doubled her holdings. If this is a trend over the next few days where she wants to, like this, she didn't get to 15 million shares overnight. It took her a few days, right? But she did aggressively buy over the next couple weeks, going from January 29th-ish, January 29th, January 30th to March 10th, let's say. She went from 1.8 million shares to 15 million shares. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, by March 11th. If that's the case, boys, we have a lot of inflows here. So we just saw day one of potentially her doubling her portfolio. Maybe she comes in, buys another 2 million, maybe sells off more Coinbase to fund it. Who knows? But I'm not selling here at 17. There's not a chance. We're going to continue to break new highs. I don't know if this happens next week. I don't know when it happens. Okay. But a company cannot continue to execute. And, what's funny about the debate, is this a bank? Does the market look at it like a bank? does Cathie Wood buy banks? I mean, where's JP Morgan on her portfolio here? Like, she's buying, for the most part, innovative tech companies. That's like her whole objective of the innovation fund and the fintech fund, you know? So price it like a bank or price it like Coinbase or Affirm or some of these companies that are actually growing. I don't know. Depends how you look at it, guys. Cathie Wood made a boatload with Circle, then put it into Hood and SoFi. Yeah, I mean, it was a great time to sell. It was a great time to sell Circle, that's for sure. It's starting to come down. I think it's come off 40% since its high, which we knew that was what was going to happen. Like it had to. It was so overvalued. You know? I saw today that the first 2 weeks of July are historically the best for markets. Yeah, sure. I could believe that. End the year at 22, calling it now. I mean, that could be the case. I'm going to hope for a little bit more, especially if markets get really frothy and we can actually hold that up. You're going to see, like, whenever SoFi went down to 4, they were so much lower than their fair value was crazy, like lower than book value on a company growing 30% or 24%, I think, at the time. Now, I think they're going to grow faster than what the market suggests. I think that the margin is going to be better than the market suggests. And if we're in a market that pushes multiples probably past what they historically are comfortable sitting at, we could get to a point of overvaluation. Now, I'm a Hood investor. Okay. I'll continue to hold Hood. But Hood at 85 as of today is still like, oh, wow, these multiples are not like its peers, you know? So although I think that they deserve it, some could suggest that the multiple is overextended. Same with Palantir or something like this. Like, markets get frothy. Are we going to see a similar thing for SoFi? Potentially. Now, I don't mean that SoFi gets to where Robinhood is, but I mean in its own, does it get frothy in its own right? Okay, so I'm not suggesting anything crazy like SoFi to 80 or whatever Robinhood is at. And that's just a share price, by the way. I'm not talking market cap or multiples of earnings, which is how we usually look at companies. Hood and SoFi will dominate the market soon. I mean, they kind of are, right? But like, if SoFi can continue to attract more and more users, and those users are sticky and not switching off, and SoFi Plus is you know, attracting and retaining users, those users are coming from somewhere. Like, if they are growing in market share, they're taking it from the big banks. Pretty exciting. Pretty freaking exciting to watch a company revolutionize consumer banking, and we can benefit from those changes. That's why the shares are going up. Now, I think SoFi is still being played out like a company that people are just betting on rate cuts or not. And the short interest shows that. The short interest is still like 13% or something. 13.65%. It's just crazy. 13% on this fast-growing business. What would be SoFi's frothy price? I mean, as of today's earnings, north of 25, I think would be very frothy. Okay. With added quarters or going into 2026 where the EPS is starting to really show, that price will get extended as well. But we have to go on today's numbers, for which we're about to see another quarter, but we haven't seen that yet. So the last 12 months is what it is today. Until we see the next quarter, it hasn't adjusted, so people are still looking at old multiples. But yes, I do think that markets could bring it past 25 if they're in really bullish moods. That's absolutely true. We've seen it in other companies. There's not a reason to believe that it can't happen to SoFi. Short squeeze? I mean, You could see something like that, especially in a true bull market. It could definitely happen, but I wouldn't look for meme stock pricing or something like this. I mean, that's not going to happen. Rate cuts will be a massive catalyst for SoFi. You're going to see a ton of activity for the loan platform business. Remember, like, it wasn't long ago that we started the loan platform business. It's becoming a like everyone talks about the how many 9-figure businesses Robinhood has. SoFi came out of nowhere with the loan platform business, and this will be a $1 billion annualized business soon, like in the near future. Okay? It's insane. For every $100 million business that Robinhood can acquire and diversify their earnings, SoFi to get $1 billion run rate business is adding 10 of what Robinhood aspires to be. Now, whenever they say 9 figures, obviously they mean companies that are bringing in 200 million, 300 million. I'm not trying to disparage what Robinhood is doing. Big fan. But the loan platform business, you hear people's comments going, I don't see how that's a thesis changer. It so is. Like, it's one of the biggest product launches we'll ever see from SoFi. Ever. And it's only going to pick up more traction if they can continue to show that the members that they're bringing on and the quality that they underwrite at is better than their peers. So far, we're seeing that. Now, the funny thing about underwriting, the more you do it, the better you get at it, right? Like most things. So SoFi, instead of just underwriting for their own member base and everything, well, that's even what they're doing on the loan platform business. But even the loan platform business can expand externally via Galileo. So SoFi could underwrite on other companies' platforms here in the future. That's a big possibility, like what Upstart does. Okay? Don't think that they're not going to do that. There's a big possibility that they do. Like, huge. Because what Noto, and I'm realizing this more and more, what he's focused on is the 80-20 rule, right? Find the things that are true needle movers. Okay. So although we want crypto and we want level 1 options, he's been focused on personal loans, loan platform business, the Smart Start student loans, massive home loan focus, and that's bringing in the bulk of the earnings. And so the loan platform business now is just personal loans. We have the opportunity to go after student loans, which will probably be the next big thing, because SoFi essentially does student loans better than any other company in the United States. That's why we have 60 to 70% of the market share for the credit box that we underwrite for, which is like the only student loan credit box that you can underwrite for, because it's better than the average. And that's the only way that people will take your federal student loan or a private student loan over the federal student loan. So we own the student loan market. SoFi is essentially going to say, hey, not only do we own it, but you can have access to these loans. We'll let you take the credit for it, all the money for it, but you have to pay us to write it, and we want cash only. The loan platform business is the game changer. Yes, 100%. And now we're going to look to expand it outside of personal loans into all these other areas. Then the next phase. So one thing I think is really interesting before I get into the next phase is, if SoFi was just doing loans in-house, trying to sell those loans, that's what we were doing for the last, 12 years of the business or whatever. SoFi's underwriting gets better and better over time. They've shown that off in their earnings slides. I can show this off here. We've seen this in okay, never mind. Sorry, they posted I thought we were getting new news just as I opened up their website, but it was just a post about crypto and everything. Let's see here. And if it's not, okay, it is in this slide. Because they kind of changed their slide deck this quarter much more than they have last time. So over time, you can see just showing off previous years, like in 2017 versus what we're doing now. We're keeping the losses on those loans getting better and better and better. And we saw the exact same thing with personal loans. Whenever they first started, to what we were seeing back in 2019 to even what we're seeing now. It's just improved over time. Okay. Because we're writing more and we're learning more. And we're getting more data, like points on customers to understand them. Now we're doing that for other companies as well. So SoFi said, hey, we get $120 billion of loans that are coming in that people potentially want. Right now, we're writing about 20 and letting 100 billion just go away. Sorry, we can't take you, go somewhere else. We want 120 billion. I mean, that's the case, right? So, well, obviously some amounts of those people that are asking for loans are not fit for anyone to underwrite. But there's probably a large percentage of that, let's say 80 of that billion, 90 of that billion, that could be underwritten in different credit boxes or in the same similar credit box that SoFi underwrites for, that could go out to other customers that have capital. We're talking insurance companies, we're talking hedge funds, asset managers, right? That want loans on their balance sheet, but they obviously can't underwrite them themselves. These hedge funds don't have customers. SoFi does. So those customers are going to pay SoFi to find customers for which SoFi can then put that money towards growing more members, more advertising, more CMA fests, more NBA, more NFL, more TGL golf promotions, right? Bring in more customers to feed the hedge funds. We take nothing but cash. It's an insane business. The next phase, after learning and growing and improving our credit boxes and bringing the underwriting down or bringing the defaults down, which would then allow us to ask more for the loans because there's a less chance that they default because we're getting that confident in our underwriting. Once we've done all that, then we can go back to companies like Robinhood and say, hey, you guys have 26 million customers. You give us these data points. We need access to your customers' data, and we'll write loans on them for you. You guys can house them on your own balance sheet, or you can let us sell them to other people, and you don't have to do anything. We'll pay you a massive referral fee for letting us tap into your consumer network. That's what Upstart does. Hey, help us help you. We'll underwrite your customers better than you will. You can keep the customer, or we'll help you sell it, and you pay us a healthy fee for getting access to our underwriting software. It's literally like lending as a service. That will come. That will. You don't think it will. I mean, Galileo, that's what they do. SoFi, historically, their whole premise has always been, hey, let's do something. Let's figure out how we do it on our own. And then let's sell our capabilities to other financial institutions. That's always been the case. They want to do that with crypto now. Like SoFi just a couple days ago said, hey, we want to get into crypto style payments. And then in the same day, David Freyer came out and said, hey, can't wait to do this for Galileo. So wait until, Galileo says, hey, can't wait to offer the loan platform business and our underwriting capabilities to the 168 million or 158 million, whatever we're at now, to all those customers that want a loan with SoFi. And right now, that's only personal loans. Wait for home loans, wait for student loans, and then put a banking multiple on that stock. I mean, get out of my face. That's ridiculous. There's big belief in SoFi. I think Anthony Noto's saying that they're going to get to 50 million customers and they're going to get this massive market cap and all of the goals that he has set, he's never missed. And then all of a sudden people are going, yeah, right. Tanner, I believe SoFi is using MasterCard for interchange on their credit cards. Would it make sense for them to use stablecoins for this, similar to the recently announced worldwide payments? This will take a really long time. I think it will come, and it might even come in the form of MasterCard as well. Okay? What it will do, regardless, even if MasterCard ends up building this technology and keeping the infrastructure there, it will lower the cost for SoFi, for the consumer, and bring up our margins. That's exciting. But in terms of SoFi building out this rail, this will take some time. You're going to have to change the customer's cards. You're going to have to change so many different things. Now, in terms of that, if we go back to my video that I just recently made about SoFi and their big goal around payments, which the Anthony Noto's big, hairy, audacious goal that he said he didn't want to talk about. And then in the same question, he said, if you had unlimited money and unlimited budget, what would you want to do with that? He said, I would want to disrupt payments, disrupt the debits, the credits, the ACH, everything, and go after, the massive mega $1 trillion that are, flowing through America's payment rails. That sounds like a pretty hairy, audacious goal to me. So I do think that there will be some form of focusing on that, but I don't think MasterCard's going anywhere anytime soon. But could happen roughly over the next few years. Are we still bullish? I don't know what you guys have think that I'm saying, but yes. I'm very bullish. Okay. Let's see what other questions you guys had. How is PayPal doing in the US? Dennis, I don't know if this is a set question or whatever, but they are doing amazingly recently. I think they were like 6th or 9th on the App Store for all, like, the total top free apps in the United States. It was quite impressive, actually. Let's see if we can bring that up and see where they are now. It might have fallen, but we can check. App Store. Wow. This is what I just opened it up to. App Store rankings. I'm not looking in finance. I'm not looking in anything. Top charts on iPhone for top free apps. Let's find where the next finance app comes up. Okay. No. Nope. You can consider that a finance app if you want to. I don't know if it will come up in finance. It's a shopping app though. No. Nope. Cash App in 38th and Venmo in 41st. I don't know what's going on with PayPal, but PayPal is skyrocketing right now. So congratulations to the PayPal people. It's funny because there's all the stablecoin news that's coming out right now that's sort of pushing the stock down. And then all the actual data that people like Crossroads is bringing out right now that is showing that, they're going to have a pretty impressive quarter. Curtis, thank you for all the great content. Keep it up. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Happy to have you here and the rest of the community. It's amazing what we're building here and trying to find cool names that are actually, trying to change the world just a little bit and hopefully make us some money in the meantime. Okay. Microsoft Teams, LOL. Okay. Yes, I'm very bullish on new still. Very, very bullish on new. They're going to have a great time. For real, great content, said Clarence. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I do appreciate it. All right, let's continue with the news, though. It's not just a love fest. We gotta cover some stock here. Let's talk about what other potential opportunities that SoFi has that we're going to see over the next few quarters. So one, I think obviously SoFi Money, the more users that actually came from the CMA Fest, they had a promotion that went on this quarter where, during this country festival or whatever you want to call it, that there was also a promo. There's like a QR code all over the place. Download it while you're there. Use the debit card that they offer you. You'll get 25% cash back. Now, aren't you in Mexico? No. Now, 25% sounds like a big expense. But whenever you consider that as a customer acquisition cost, because the fest is going to end pretty quickly, okay, it's a very small fee to ask for, or a very small expense. So unbelievable. And hopefully they converted, tens of thousands of people, hopefully. And, all the different brand awareness that it ended up going out there. So then the next time that you end up seeing SoFi's brand and they're offering you a personal loan, they're offering you a mortgage, potentially you end up downloading it or trusting them over another company that you've never heard about before. Which is the big thing in advertising that I think SoFi understands clearly with things like, SoFi Stadium or SoFi Center or something like this, is that a lot of advertising doesn't have to convert right away. It just needs to make SoFi a trusted, safe brand in your head that you remember. And on the, what was it? The Axios Harris poll? Was that what it is? Axios Harris poll. They did a 100 corporations reputation post. Let's see if this is here or no. This is only a what do you call it? Screenshot. How do we actually get the thing? Here, I might have to download it somewhere. But we'll go through it. SoFi is actually on it under great reputation, and we've never been on the list before. So clearly, the brand name is growing, and people feel happy knowing that, Okay, I think I found it. Is this it? Where do I go to download this freaking thing? Expand table. Okay, got it. There I go. Here we are. So these are all the companies that say that they have really strong brands. So it doesn't have to be the biggest companies, but out of the surveyors, these are the companies that came to mind with excellent, character, trajectory, trust, culture, ethics, all these sort of things that they're ranked on. Now, if I remember correctly, SoFi is 41. Yep, bang. And this one dash is because there was no change in their ranking in the past years. This is as high as SoFi has ever been because they've never been on the list. Now, there's a few companies that have never been on the Ulta Beauty has never been on the list. Under Armour, Ben & Jerry's, a couple companies that have found their way onto the list that haven't been here before, haven't been on in a little bit. But SoFi, great start, and they're in the great category. There's only one category higher than that. So Curtis with another 5. SoFi CMA had like multiple specific segments and some sort of ad at like every break. Went from 31 to 28 on the App Store or on the Apple app finance chart last night when I looked. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Curtis. I appreciate it again. Yeah, it will definitely have a big impact. We see that in big events in SoFi Stadium. In TGL, we saw a massive increase. That's how we got a record-breaking quarter last time. I don't know when TGL starts back up again, but those will be great times for SoFi again. Like, it will work. And on the banking side, and hopefully whenever we bring level 1 options and crypto and all these things, whenever we get customers, they're going to be sticky customers. Because remember, they're not coming from, traditional modern fintechs. They're coming from Wells Fargo, Citigroup, JP Morgan, Bank of America. There is so much opportunity in those 4 names. It's insane. Okay. On top of that, what is SoFi going to do with all this newfound money and everything? They're going to try to find new areas of disruption and then find a new cohort of users, right? This is what we see in every growth company that at least tries. I mean, not every single one succeeds, but that's why we continue to underwrite this company every single quarter. But hopefully next is business banking and all the other things in between. Capital markets will be a huge part of SoFi's business that retail is not going to care about, but it's going to make up for a large bulk of their earnings. Wells Fargo is so annoying. Those people will try anything. I've basically rerouted all my stuff to SoFi, or in the process of. Cool. Regional banks are on high alert. Yeah, unless they switch over to Technisys and Galileo. Like, that's essentially what SoFi is saying. Like, hey, guys, you guys are dying, but we also have the antidote. But we'll take the profits there as well. I'm 50-50 NVIDIA and SoFi everything. I mean, looks similar to my portfolio. Not so much on the 50% of SoFi side, but yeah. That's true. 25 right now, not bad. Up 6 spots in a day. Is that where SoFi is right now, Curtis? 25th? That would be pretty freaking high. That sounds like where Robinhood is. If that's where SoFi is, that's where SoFi is? Wow. Wow. That is surprising. And we're still in Q2. So that's looking good. That's looking really good. Tanner, are you guys on at 10 tonight? Yes, we are. Yep. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have everyone there. I think. Tevis, I think, said he's going to try to be there. But I haven't heard exact confirmation. I think he's going to try to be there, though. Hood is 1 spot above SoFi? That's too funny. What's at 10? We have another show where I have a lot of other guests. We have a panel of 4 or 5 people that are going to talk about SoFi, other big stocks that are moving, macro news, stuff like that. Just another hour or so of covering great companies. Were you going to Mexico? Yeah, but I didn't end up going. I definitely was in talks. I was an even split between NVIDIA, AMD, SoFi with Celsius Shop and Amazon in second tier. I mean, we've got a lot of companies overlapping. NVIDIA, SoFi, Shopify, Amazon. I own all those names. AMD, I should have taken a starter position in just as a hedge in another, like, can't have enough chips, I guess. But yeah. Overall, in my stock market draft that we did, which one? All of you guys, because you guys were watching, disrespected me. You guys put that I would come in last place. We have a long way to go till this is over, but so far it's looking like I'm going to be very comfortable. I don't even have that crazy of volatile names. Like, maybe the only volatile name that I have is Coinbase, and already that's killing it for me. So I'm up like 40% on that name, and it's been a couple days. Well, 2 weeks or something like this. So the disrespect was crazy. Okay. I think I still have a very good shot of coming first. I'm definitely not coming last. And I'll knock on wood just to be safe, because I don't want to curse myself here, but yeah. Dude, we put Amit in last place. That's not how the poll went. I put Amit in I think Amit will be last place. I'm not trying to like trash him, but I think he was defending Palantir, and I don't think, like, you want stocks that have the possibility of doubling. 280 or 282 or whatever that Palantir needs to get to by June of next year. That's tough. That's tough. There were a couple names like that I just don't think are going to move all that much. JP Morgan, Visa. What else did he have? Duolingo could potentially do well, but I think it's down quite a lot right now. The thing that I have that's down a lot right now is AppLovin, and they're going to get into the S&P 500 this year. I'm pretty confident in that. So I think I'll be all right, even on the companies that aren't working as well for me. I think that they will end well. How do we check the rankings of the stock draft? So I don't know if we have a public document. I heard that there was someone in the community that made it a public document. I heard that also Amit was looking to make a website or something like this to track the performance. But overall, I can just share it with you guys here. Amit right now, total returns with dividends. However, the dividends are fully paid in. Okay. So these aren't going to accelerate. This is the full year paid in dividend already accounted for. 1.53%, 2.25% for Steve. Matt killing it right now, 12.25%. Essentially every single one of his names is working for him. It's unbelievable. Abcelera, SoFi, ASTS, Rocket Lab, everything, Oscar Health. He's done fantastic. Okay. However, if we go into a downturn, those are the companies that get cut first. So I'm not hopeful for a downturn, but there's a possibility I still win. And then Chris, a lot of his names require catalysts, a little bit of time. So I would not count Chris out here at all. But right now his portfolio is the slowest at 1.68%. And really, those are all of his dividends coming in already. He's really at like 0 or like 0.66%. On the other hand, I'm up 6%. Second place right now. Nvidia's doing great. Melly's doing great. Nubank's doing great. ASML, Coinbase, obviously, TSM. I've got like a lot of really good names. And then the companies that aren't working for me, I have so much belief in ServiceNow. I have so much belief in the Trade Desk and in AppLovin for the rest of the year. I think they're undervalued. So I'm very, very confident in my portfolio. It's not the perfect portfolio. So the people that don't know this draft, this was an elimination draft. So these are not my 10 favorite names. I would have picked, Hood or SoFi or a lot of these other names to bump up my full year potential. Okay, I would have got Meta in there as well. There were a bunch of names that I would have loved to have had. But if someone else takes them, you don't get access to them. So, yeah. But overall, Nubank, Mercado Libre, everyone was clowning on me for picking Latin American names, and now we're having some of the weakest dollars that we've ever seen, weakest US dollar. Yeah. Shame on you. Can TTD compete with Google and Amazon? Amazon's really strong. Okay. Google, I think like what Jeff Green has said is that Google is going to leave the open market and they're going to service their own IPs. And that's what they're going to do to sort of get away from a lot of antitrust issues. And if they end up doing that, that actually is going to be one of the largest catalysts for TTD. So I'm a big believer in that. If you guys know much about Jeff Green, he is like an oracle for advertising. Everything that comes out of that person's mouth is like it's like a prophet telling you what the future is going to be. I mean, his predictions have been 100 out of 100. So whenever he said that Google's getting out of open internet, I believe him. We're already seeing signs of it. So yeah, TTD will be fine. Amazon's strong. Well said, Jose. They've been competing with them for 36 months, 36 quarters. That's very true. Plus, I mean, now there's like the hiccup that we saw that actually allowed us to get such a discount was because Kokai was essentially like being pushed out much too slow. And now they actually think that they are going to get every customer that they have over in 2025. Kokai is essentially their AI native platform, which is only going to help accelerate their customers' performance, which is going to, help accelerate their order volumes. It's all just going to, I'm confident. I don't have a large position in TTD. I don't know it nearly as well as I know SoFi or some of these names, but let's not forget that they're one of the fastest growing software names ever. Like, they're a very fantastic business. Do you think that SoFi will get into the S&P 500 soon? No. And I'm not saying that to discount what they have, but like AppLovin needs to get in. Robinhood needs to get in. Reddit needs to get in. What is it? Vita needs to get in. There's a bunch of these businesses. So, and like AppLovin, I think it has $120 billion, $130 billion market cap. They're eligible to the absolute extreme. There's so many reasons to pick them and put them in. Fast growing, modern, great company. SoFi is not eligible right now. They need a $20 billion market cap. Okay, right now I think they're at, let me check. Are they at 18 billion? 18.99 billion. So they're not eligible right now. They would have been eligible last year if they had this market cap, but they weren't. And then they need to hold that for some time, like 60 to 90 days, whatever it is. And then on the other side of that, you have all of these companies that have, potentially fortress balance sheets, fast-growing businesses, much, much higher market caps that aren't even in yet. So SoFi could be on the list, but it'll be some time. I do hope great things for them, though. Yeah, William, Sonoma needs to get out. How fast can you put a company into the S&P 500 and then get removed? Can you do that in the same year? Can you do that in a 12-month period? Okay, let's see here. Does Reddit need to get in? I mean, they don't need to get in. Yeah, I mean, to some degree, I'd prefer Reddit over a coffee machine company. And now I understand that S&P needs to be diversified across different businesses. They can't just all pick tech or different tech adjacent businesses. But like Williams Sonoma has fallen out of eligibility. Like they're if they were to be added today, they couldn't be. So yeah. S&P inclusion after Hood hits 100. I mean, that might be the case, or S&P inclusion will bring them to 100, but it'll be a good day either way. I think Coinbase, whenever they got added, they went up like 25%. It was insane. SoFi could get added first. I mean, no. I don't think there's a world where SoFi gets in before Robinhood. They're not eligible right now. Robinhood is more than eligible. Manifestation. All right. That's fair. I'll let you do that. I actually think SoFi has been getting punished. So I don't remember. There was something that Anthony Noto said about the way that the company is structured. Someone like Vadim or DDI will correct me on this. But he said that an IPO was actually not as preferable than a SPAC. Just the way that the company was designed, I forget what it was, but a SPAC was necessary to go public versus a regular IPO or a DPO. Now, you could say, oh, that's, not the case, or that he's joking or lying or something like this. Anthony Noto, his previous role before SoFi was bringing companies public. Like he brought Twitter public. That's how he made a big part of his fortune, was IPOs. I think that was his largest one in his career. And then he was so good that Jack Dorsey, after dealing with Anthony Noto for that time, ended up hiring him as the chief financial officer for Twitter. That's his background. So he knows what he's talking about. Like, people don't realize, I think, that about Anthony Noto whenever they think about him. Like, he was like Wall Street's greatest analyst in 2000 into 2004 or 5. I forget what it was, but like the greatest analyst. He was one of like 3 analysts of that entire period that he was at Goldman Sachs that was an analyst, but also got partner. Like, the high majority of people that actually end up becoming partner are traders. They're not analysts. So he was in a very, very small list, like a 1% list that was an analyst that also, got to partner on Goldman. He's a legit winner. Noto was COO. If I'm not mistaken, he was both. So he was CFO, and then he actually ended his role at COO. But he started as CFO, and then he actually ended up moving to COO. Or it was the other way around, but he did both. Yeah, he was at Goldman 2 times. He was part of the TMT group, I think it was. TMT. And then he was also just as an analyst. I've got a pretty interesting YouTube video on the background of Anthony Noto, like talking about going all the way back to like whenever he worked at Kraft Heinz and stuff like this. Let's see. Yeah, Anthony J. Noto, Daring the Odds, Winning the Game. That was the name of the video. So if anyone's interested in checking out that, you see a very young Tanner from 1 year ago. I look a lot different, I think. I look skinny, man. Holy. It must be more than just 365 days ago. I mean, that's got to be like a year and 9 months or something like this. Like, it's got to be later than that. But check out that video. Every time I see a picture of myself, I just feel like I look older. And maybe later on in life, maybe a year from now, I'm going to look back at this face and think that I look really young. But yeah. Mustache is thicker now. I'm shaving it down. If you go back and look at some of the videos like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, it was, or maybe even longer, maybe like 2 months ago, but I was just trying to bush it out. Looked ridiculous, but the market was going up. So can't stop it. But I just shaved it, so maybe Monday is going to be a bad day. Who knows? Sorry, guys. Uh-oh. Gonna turn into Steve with those arms. I am the heaviest that I've been at this moment. I'm on a pretty good health kick right now. I'm eating, I'm running, I'm exercising, I'm sauning every day, cold showers. I'm doing awesome right now. But would money transfers worldwide be the next big business for them? It could be. Not the way that it's rolled out today, like or like the watch list that we have that's coming out. That's not going to make a big difference for SoFi. The global payments. I think someone even released a picture of it that there's going to be a $1 fee per transfer. I think it was SoFi Insider that ended up sharing that, which he's not a SoFi Insider, but it's like a cute name or whatever. Okay, here it is. So somehow they ended up getting into the UX, and maybe they are a SoFi Insider, and this is how they got this. But you could see them bringing this from $1 to 1 Mexican peso, and they're holding this certain rate. The rate is expiring in 3 minutes or whatever. to this person here. This is what they're going to receive in their local currency. The network fee takes 10 cents because this is some crypto-based way to send money. And then SoFi's fee, which says beta, is $1. All right? So overall, it's going to add money to SoFi's business. They're not going to do it for free. And there are going to be people that want to send money abroad or are doing it for remittances purposes. Maybe people will look at that rather than PayPal because it's going to be much cheaper. But yeah. Yeah, this is not a cola. This is a coffee. McCafe. Black. Do people think that black coffee is bad for you? I don't think that it is. It has become that way. I have not made coffee at my house for a while. That's how you know the market is bullish right now. I'm eating out a lot. I have not been cooking very much. No Timmy Hortons? Yeah, no, I don't really like Tim Hortons at all. Black coffee is rather healthy. Okay, that's what I thought. Like, I didn't think it was bad for me. Bad coffee is bad for you? Agreed. You don't look a day over 30. I'm not a day over 30. I'm 27. Americano? So I'm not I'm not American, but I do love an iced Americano, that's for sure. Okay. Are there any other SoFi related questions that we can end up covering? We can do a little Q&A before we wrap here. I do love the Kirkland ground coffee. It's really good. Is market FOMO? Is the market frothy? Yeah. I think that there's a lot of names that are near fair. I'm not even really buying anything right now. All the cash that I'm acquiring right now is just going into cash. I'm getting ready to buy things if there is a dip. So how I'm using my actual money, I think it could be looking a little frothy. Maybe I'm trying to time things a little bit. Maybe as a problem. But overall, I think that the market can go a lot higher than this before we start thinking that it's manic or that there's a real problem here. Rate cuts will come. There will be a lot of individual names that have a lot more to rise from here. But as B-Dub says, I want a 10% correction in the market. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I've been accumulating cash the last little bit, so yeah. Picked up a few shares of Nubank. I mean, that's one. Like if you're talking about, are there dips still to buy in the markets? Yeah, I was picking up new before. Like, then the article came out recently from Morgan Stanley that brought the stock up like 8%. And I haven't bought since, but you know, it is very good. Oh, did you speak on Palantir tonight? It got smacked. Yeah, I think it was a what's the word? Index rebalance. So it wasn't anything crazy at all. I don't think anyone sold for any real particular reason. Watching Tanner drink McDonald's coffee made me drive to McDonald's. Yeah. Yeah, my night's not going to end for a while, so still taking in some caffeine. What's next for SoFi to expand? I think the most immediate catalyst that really does, like, if you're talking about the share price, a rate cut could make a huge change in the stock price. and why I think you're going to see a lot of money managers start to take bets on SoFi is because SoFi is one of those companies that people look as a play on rates. So probably the most immediate answer to this is rate cuts. What is it going to take for the SoFi company or stock to expand over time? More members. Members are each individual member that we bring on, every single one, is a little compounder of revenue. Okay. They use SoFi Invest over time. They use a debit card over time. Banks are the most recurring business. Like, no one thinks of banking as annual recurring revenue, but it so is. Like, it's insane how recurring their business model is. So some people, choose their bank and they bank for 45 years with them, and they're making the bank hundreds of thousands of dollars per customer. It's crazy. That being said, SoFi is potentially gaining soon about 1 million new members per quarter. If that keeps going in that direction, you're getting all these new customers that are turning into little compounders. And look at Nubank's business to see what happens then. You see growth like you've never seen before. Members are the forward indicator of future success. Dude, B-dubs. I want a vanilla milkshake from McDonald's. No one understands how good that vanilla milkshake is. I mean, that is crazy. I've not had one in a while, though. But that used to be my thing. Do you bank with SoFi? I'm a Canadian, so no. Not because I don't want to, but because they don't offer their services in my country. And then some people say, oh, I saw a funny comment. People say, oh, well, how do you invest in it then? Like, if you've never used it, how do you invest in it? One, I watch videos of it. I watch SoFi reviews. I do all my due diligence the same way anyone would buy a business that they can't use, like B2B software. A lot of people own Palantir. I've never used it before. I've never used ServiceNow. Never been a user of ServiceNow. I've been a user of Salesforce. But, B2B or different areas, like there's opportunities to buy companies that you've never seen before. A lot of the investors of HIMS don't use HIMS or HERS products. So, there's ways to do due diligence without being a direct customer. Yeah, I've never used Nubank as well. That's a great one. I would say mostly every American that owns Nubank stock has not used that company. But yeah, the machine is always broken. It's hard to get a vanilla milkshake. That's funny. Why do you expect an influx of new members in SoFi? So it's mainly been on a percentage of their sales and marketing budget. They've been pretty consistent on if they spend $300, then they get a new customer, which sounds high, but they get a very, very hot lead for that customer, a customer that's getting personal loans, that's getting home loans, that like you pay a lot for those customers. If you look at JP Morgan or anything, they're spending $1,500 per customer. But and yeah, the less important the product, the more easy it is to attract a customer. But we also don't care about those. Why the influx of new members? One, SoFi said that they're going to keep expanding their sales and marketing budget this year. They have gone very, very aggressive on their marketing terms. They keep improving their products. So until I'm proven wrong, we're actually pretty good at understanding SoFi's new member counts. And so we track App Store rankings. We track website traffic, which, last month did very well. The months before that were both record months. So far showing really, really good data. And hopefully we see June's numbers here soon in the next 2 weeks or so. Tanner, any concern with the US and Canada trade war? Not at all. They said that they've ended talks or whatever. Let's see in a week if that still is the case. I don't believe that that will be. We're close allies. I love you guys. Even I don't have a part in this. I'm not like, oh, this is why I. No. But we'll work something out. I'm sure. SoFi or Rocket Lab? I would have to pick Rocket Lab. Or I would have to pick SoFi because I do not hold Rocket Lab. I know nothing about Rocket Lab. I don't hold Rocket Lab. Yeah, that's too funny. Oh. I was thinking about where I was going with that sentence about saying I do not hold Rocket Lab. And so I ended up saying I would have to pick Rocket Lab. No. Yeah, clip that. Yeah. That's too funny. I was just asking because I was looking to change banks, so I'm looking for a good testimonial. I would go on YouTube and just type in, best digital banks for me in my, in the US or whatever. There's a really, really high chance that SoFi lands high on that list. And then you also have to see like maybe Chime or some of these other, fintechs end up on that list as well. See the types of products that also align with those companies. Like Chime is very great. I love, I think what Chime is doing is amazing. But it's for a lower FICO, lower income user. And so all the products that they've designed and developed have been credit building, second chance banking, like overdraft protection, all things that are great if you're paycheck to paycheck. SoFi has high APY, which only benefits you if you've got a lot of money. Potentially good options like alternative assets and stuff like this. That's only good if you can be an accredited investor and apply for those private investments. So it really depends on the types of products that you're looking for. If you're in the market for a home loan, if you have multiple accounts where you can connect Relay to look at all of your external accounts, see your net worth, like all of those things add up. And it's important for your bank to offer the products that fit your needs in life. If you've got private student loans and a home loan and stuff like this and multiple different brokerages and a credit card, like SoFi is going to be more up your alley than a potential other competing fintech. Thank you, Casey. Appreciate that. Feeling better about my less than $100 purchases of AMD the last 2 months. Yeah, sorry. I thought you said $100 purchase. Yeah, no, great buys. Great buys. The markets have done well for the chip names. How is Chime a $12 billion market cap? Honestly, I don't know. Very shocking to me. Can't wait to see their next quarter. Their earnings results we're going to have live here on the channel. Like, by the way, guys, during earnings season, if you guys aren't subscribed and don't listen to the earnings very often, we like to do sort of a community listen along breakdown of everything that's happening. All stuff like that to like, one, Chime's not a company that I know very well, but the best way to learn is with a group, right? We hear different things during the earnings calls. We make different connections, different calculations. So it's good to sort of have a community whenever you're breaking that down. And I will be listening to, Nebius. I'll be listening to AMD. I'll be listening to NVIDIA, to Chime, to SoFi, to Robinhood, to all of those. So if you guys are interested in earnings season, which is by far the our Super Bowl as investors. It happens 4 times a year. It's the most important part of being an investor. Make sure you listen to the earnings calls. Do your best to understand what they're talking about. There's not a better way to learn a company than the earnings calls. What part of Toronto do you live in? I'll keep that to myself. I'll just keep that to myself for now. Hello, everyone. I'm new here and was seeing everyone talking about this SoFi stock. Why is it so popular now? I think right now, the reason why it's so popular is that they are a big lender, and that if rate, like a lot of members of the Fed have been talking about earlier and earlier potentials for rate cuts. So that's probably why you're seeing some acceleration of the stock these days. But overall, the reason why we've been here so long is that, that it is a digital bank, and new people are flocking from JP Morgan and Bank of America over to SoFi, and that's creating quite the positive experience for SoFi users. And whenever new users of that bank use SoFi, see the quality, feel how amazing this is versus how ripped off they were feeling at the other banks, they're very compelled to support that stock, to invest in it for the long term, to root for Anthony Noto and team, and hopefully try to convince others. I mean, the referral code, guys, I mean, that's a great way. If you want to grow the company, give your referral stocks, get people into the company. I mean, like I said earlier, members are the forward indicator for future success for SoFi. So get your friends on it. Okay. Let's see here. You and Chris should do a weekly Shark Tank and grill SoFi bears and analysts. They're getting very quiet these days. I just saw a clip of Ram before, if you guys remember who Ram was, and someone said in his chat, because I guess he was live streaming or something, they said, oh, like, when are you going to admit that you were wrong on SoFi? And he just said, like, hey, let's not talk about it, or something like this. It's like, you were wrong. The people that you told to short that company, you lost money for. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's so much easier because he did actually call Dave, said that, going long Dave would be a good success, and it was. It's just so much easier being a long investor than trying to short businesses that you think aren't working. He said, like, oh, we're going to, or I've been in this game much longer than most of you guys. Like, I understand this, trust me, like all this stuff. No, you were completely wrong. Okay. I spoke with Vincent Daniels. I spoke with, who's the other guy? Vincent Daniels and his partner. What is it? What is it? Seawolf Capital? Is that what it's called? Something like that. Porter Collins. I spoke with Porter Collins, Vincent Daniel, all these guys, and they were like, Tanner, this is a fraudulent business. And they were very nice to me. Like, I don't want to disparage their character, but I think that they were wrong in their assessment of that business. As much as those guys gave me so much of their time, and I don't hate their character or anything like that, but they were wrong in this assessment. Okay. They're a fully fledged bank. I understand they bet against banks and everything like this, but like, SoFi's doing just fine. All the analysts, all the other partners, JP Morgan, their capital market companies that they're all dealing with, the agencies that are addressing their loans, that are giving them AAA ratings, they're not all wrong. Okay. The Fortress Group buying SoFi's loans, looking at the loan season, and then come back and buying more loans from SoFi because they perform so well. Them getting 2 different times where they've been able to sell loans for the loan platform business customers that they also underwritten for those members. They came back again and did that so then they can buy more loans from SoFi. That's not fake. There's nothing fraudulent about that. Tanner, can you explain the Mullen chart to me? I don't know anything about Mullen. I'm sorry. Tanner, would you ever show your portfolio? My portfolio is fully live to course members. So those people that support the channel and want to see more of my deeper dives and actually look at the numbers, I show them, my buys and sells and everything like this, my updated portfolio. They see every single one of my positions and the percentages that they make up. But to protect, to offer them some more quality, I am keeping it sort of exclusive for them as a thank you for supporting the channel. As well as my full DD on SoFi, by the way. Every aspect of SoFi's business, how I look at it, the mentors that I looked up to in terms of the lessons that I learned from Don Valentine or Peter Lynch or all these different growth investors, all part of it. So, yeah. Futureinvesting.pro for any of you guys that are interested. And if you're not, you don't have to. I'm still going to show up every day and give you guys free content. So don't feel like you're pressured to, buy something that you don't want to buy. That's it. And you're not going to get a promo code. I'm not going to do promo codes. So, yeah, the price is the price. I've tried to join, but can't find the lever. I don't know what that means. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 3 minutes till I have another hour and a half long show. So if you guys want to see that, it's on the channel. You can just click the channel down here and go over to the FinTech Friday show. Make sure you don't go under videos, you go under live streams. What, Steve? Your channel access? No, I'm not. Sorry. Steve, what? DM me. I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but if you're looking for the live stream, I don't know where on desktop or mobile or TV that you guys are on, but my name, you should be able to click in so then you guys can see the rest of my channel. There will be different tabs, YouTube, like videos, shorts, lives, all those different things. You have to go to videos and then go to live streams. Should be there. How do I join your group? Futureinvesting.pro. Futureinvesting.pro. You join the growth investing masterclass. That is the way that you see all my investments, exclusive live streams, deep dives, full breakdown of SoFi, my charts, access to all my spreadsheets. Yeah. It's like literally a website, futureinvesting.pro rather than .com, because somebody stole .com. SoFi or PayPal, you can only pick one. SoFi, that's clear. Thank you, though, Eric. Appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching, but I'm going live in a couple seconds. I gotta go pee. Bye.